was a holy shit moment for me whenever I realized that some of the symptoms of grief are muscle tension, chronic pain, chronic fatigue. Whenever I found that out, I was like, oh, geez. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
because that's my whole life. I've been diagnosed with multiple autoimmune disorders, and um, I don't know if
Hmm.
it's chicken or the egg scenario, but it's all interrelated. The genetics plus the trauma and the grieving and all that has created a perfect storm where I spent my life in pain and tired.
It's exactly what you described is exactly, I saw you nodding,
Mm.
what's described in the Body Keeps the Score book.
Yep. Yeah,
If you haven't,
phenomenal book.
yeah.
And I'm reminded that it's time for me to go. I haven't read that one in a few years now. And with some of this new uncovering that I'm doing, it's time to go visit that one again because
Mm,
I'm definitely in the middle of it for sure.
yeah. It's one of the books on my shelves. It's like
Mhm.
it's a good one. It's a good one because pain is it's worth learning about for sure.
It's
So how do
amazing
we,
how, oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, please. It's amazing.
Well, I just think it's amazing how, like, I never would have thought that releasing tension in my body would bring a recall in of a memory, or even not a recall of a memory, but an emotion that I didn't know existed uh, in my body, let alone in that particular place of my body, right? To experience that, you know, is fascinating. It's a reminder that like you don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
Like you don't actually know what's there. We don't know everything that we're holding on to. We have awareness around some things that we're holding on to, and I think sometimes we spend so much time avoiding those things, we just tuck them in deeper and they become the things we're unaware of because new things come in, and maybe not, but it's fascinating because I think this is the type of thing that I would have been really skeptical of in my 20s, really skeptical of. And then I started Thai massage training in my early 40s. Like I think I was 41 when I started that training and almost 42. And I started witnessing it like in myself, in others, and then not understanding it and having really great teachers, thank God, that could like explain to me and help me unpack what was actually happening. And some things we just can't explain in words. And to hold space for someone on a Thai massage mat when you're working with them and they're having a full blown cry it out meltdown and they don't understand why, to try and formulate words to hold space, which most of the time, I mean, like in Thailand, they don't say anything. They just let you cry. There's nothing to be said. It's yours. It's not theirs. There's nothing to do other than to just keep going. Hand you a tissue, maybe. you know, it's fascinating how there's so many different ways we can so-called unlock. There's so many different ways we can grieve. There's so many different ways we can transform. And I find that humans in general, at least my experience, we seem to spend more time and put more effort into avoiding those pain points than we do into seeking things that might potentially cause us some relief. And I find that fascinating and ironic and frustrating all at the same time for me, for my own journey. And the more I see it, the more I can't unsee it, and the more I'm making different choices. Because I understand that avoiding that is way more pain for way more long term than just getting in there and figuring out how to get in there and how to see it or not see it, but just release it. Sometimes I don't believe we have to recall every single little detail, but I do believe it, like if there's a surfacing and then there's a surrender, and that surrender is key. But we just hang on so tight to so many things that cause us so much turmoil grief included. I mean, so much of grief is simply because we have these expectations or these visions of the future that we wanted to happen or we wish could have happened. And I mean, that was my experience with my mom. She died suddenly. I had no idea that was coming. She was a spunky, feisty woman. And next thing I know, it was like stroke, week later, she's gone. And it was like, holy crap, I had all these things we were going to do. What do you mean she's gone? And it was like, I think that caused me more pain than the love I had and the loss of her being here. You know, it's fascinating. I don't know.
What's amazing, everything, yes to everything you just said, Michelle. And what's incredible to me is that we are not taught. It's not widely taught, and it should be, that you will have these really uncomfortable, difficult feelings and let them be, let them breathe, look at them, don't look away. This is what deflection can look like. Can you imagine what our world would look like if people were taught the very elementary aspect of pain, of discomfort, right? Can you imagine if this was taught alongside math and science and literature, history? Like, oh, let's talk about not just that these emotions exist and that you label them. That's a great start. Wonderful. Yes, we should be able to name the emotions. But that concept of you're going to have very difficult feelings and emotions. You're going to come to really scary realizations. Don't run from them. Observe them. Sit with them. These concepts would heal the world, heal so much, and prevent so much from perpetuating all of that generational trauma that we carry. I call it the trauma Napoleon, by the way. It's like, right, these multi-layer cake, and it just one after another layer of trauma that we inherit and pass on to others. And our DNA changes from extreme trauma. And so we pass it down, change the genetics, change the nervous system, and it perpetuates. Are we ready for our top three?
Yeah, there was only one thing I was going to add based on what you just said, and that, you said take a look at them, don't shy away. But part of that is knowing what to look at and what it feels like when we look at it. Because for years it was there for me, but I didn't know that's what it was. All I knew that I was having a very hard time just functioning. So I decided to get help with functioning. And as we started to dive into why it was I stayed so tired, that's whenever it started to surface. Hey, man, you're dealing with massive grief that you just never processed from more than 2 decades ago. So most of the time, I don't think that we're aware that's what's going on inside of us. So knowing that that's a potential that we're suffering from the grief, and that's what's causing us to not function well, to have more negative emotions than positive, to just feel like crap and not even really have a good source for feeling like crap. You can't quite put your finger on why you feel like crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good place to look.